Hi, it's Vanessa with Take a Bow. You can also find me on Etsy at Bows by Me Too. Today I'm going to show you how to create this super cute Minnie Mouse theme styled hair bow. It is attached to an alligator clip. They're super cute. They've got all these cute little loops on them. Okay, I'm going to move the camera down so that I can show you the supplies that we are going to need to complete this hair bow. First, you're going to need a lighter so that you can heat seal the ends of your ribbon. You are going to need a tape measure so that you can measure your ribbon. You're going to need a pair of scissors for cutting, an alligator clip to attach to the back of your hair bow. You are going to need a needle and thread. The thread should match the color ribbon that you're working with. And you are also going to need 3/8 inch ribbon. I am going to be using these 4 colors. I have a black with white stitching on the sides with little gems glued down the center. I am using a yellow, and I am using a red with white stitching right down the center of it. And then I am going to be using a white one with black stitching on it. I will also be using this red solid one to line my alligator clip at the end. So I'm going to actually set that one off to the side. You are also going to need a glue gun, which I have mine. It's plugged in and getting hot over there. And then last but not least, you're going to need a Minnie Mouse charm to put in the middle of your hair bow. This is an actual button. You can find these at the majority of the craft stores. I've seen the same button at Michael's, Joann's, Walmart, Hobby Lobby. They all have them. Okay, so we'll use that in the end. Okay, the first thing that you need to do is you need to grab your ribbon, and you are going to measure it 7 inches, and then you're going to cut it. And I'm actually going to use this one as the guide for my next one. So I'm going to do every color in 7 inches. So I'm going to grab the red one, cut it in 7 inches, and then I'm going to use the yellow one. I'm going to cut it in 7 inches. And then I'm going to grab the last one and cut it in 7 inches. Alright, now that I've cut all of them in 7 inches, I'm going to take them and I'm going to place them off to the side. Now I need to cut a 6-inch ribbon. So I'm going to grab one of them, measure out 6 inches, and then I'm going to cut it right at 6 inches. And then I'm going to use this one as my guide. So 6 inches. 2. 3. And then, oh, I need this one. I'm going to measure this one at 6 inches as well. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to grab all of my 6 inches and I'm going to move them off to the side, keeping them separate from my 7-inch. Okay, and then the last cutting that we need to do is we need to measure a piece of ribbon at 5 inches. So I'm going to cut it at 5, and now I'm actually going to be done with the yellow, so I'm going to move it over here and get it out of the way. And then I'm going to measure this white one. Get this one out of the way. Got one more to cut. Okay, once you've done that, you've gotten all of your ribbon cut. You're going to take your lighter and you're going to heat seal the ends of your ribbon. This is just to make sure that the ribbon doesn't fray. And you don't want to hold the lighter on there for a really long amount of time. You're just running it down the edge just to where those ends of the ribbon, they're not going to fray. And you'll see that the fraying stops as soon as you hover the heat from the lighter over the ribbon. You can do each set one at a time and then sew them together, or you can just heat seal all the ribbon at the same time, which I am going to do. That way I'm done doing it and I don't have to worry about doing it later. And I'm just barely holding it on there for like a couple seconds, just enough to stop the ribbon from fraying. Oops. Okay, last one. All right, done. I'm going to set my lighter off to the side. Okay, I am actually going to start with my 7-inch ribbon first. So I'm going to move these ones over and I'm going to put them, I'm going to actually put my ribbon in the order that I did this bow because I want to make a matching set. So I'm going to put them in order from how I arranged the first one. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and put them in the same order. That way I don't have to do it later. So I started with the white, and then I went to the red, and then yellow, and then the black. All right, next I'm going to grab my needle, and when you thread and tie your needle, you need to make sure that the end of your thread has a really nice good sized knot, because you don't want to pull the thread through your ribbon. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is line up the edges of your ribbon. So all I did was matched up the ends and then pinched it in the center. And then what you do is you take your needle and you put it right through the center of that fold and then pull it up just like that. And I'm going to set it down so that you can see it. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my next ribbon. I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I'm going to place it in an X pattern on the table, just like that. And then I'm going to grab the yellow, match up the ends, do the exact same thing. Oops. And then I'm going to grab the black one, my last one in this bottom section of the bow, fold it in half, find the center, and then push it down like that. So that's what it should look like once you've threaded all the ribbon on your needle and thread. Okay, now I'm going to start with the first ribbon that I laid down for the hair bow. So I'm going to grab my white, and I'm not just going to grab it and fold it over. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to turn it inward, and I'm going to put my needle up through the top side of the ribbon, and it's going to actually thread up through the bottom side of the ribbon, so that whenever I'm done, I have a loop just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to move over to the red. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to just fold it down. Remember, I got to turn it inward. And I'm putting my needle through about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom of the ribbon where we heat sealed it. And then I'm going to grab the yellow, and then I'm just going to repeat that step all the way until I get all the way around my bow. And the more you do this, the faster you're going to get at it. And you won't get, it won't take you as long. And then I'm going to the yellow. Oops. And then I'm going to do the black one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up, oops, a little twisted there. Okay. All right, there. Okay. So what I just did was I took a little bit of time and I straightened out my loops so that they all look about the same width apart. Now that I've done that, I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to run it through all the ribbons in the center of the bow. Just like that. Okay, and I'm only going to do this about 3 or 4 times. Just enough to hold that ribbon into place to where I'm comfortable with it and I know it's not going to shift. Okay, and then this is the last time. I'm going to just push it up through the center and I'm going to leave it there. Next, I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm going to cut it and then I'm going to tie it off in the center of the bow. Okay. All right. Now that that's done, my bow should look like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to repeat this step over again for the 6-inch and then the 5-inch. And you're going to notice the circle of the bow is going to get, the diameter of the bow is going to get smaller and smaller. All right, so this is definitely not enough thread, so I need to rethread my needle. Okay. All right, so I'm going to grab my white, I'll fold it in half. Grab the red. I'm just going to repeat the steps that I did the first time. So I'm going to thread it down the center. I'm matching up my ends of the ribbon, pinching it in the center, finding the center crease, and then bringing the needle up through the center, and I'm creating this X pattern down on the table with all the ribbons in the same order that I did the first one in. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to grab the first ribbon that I placed down, and I'm not going to just bring it over. Remember, you have to twist it inward to give it that loop. Okay, so remember, that's the loop you're looking for. Okay, so now that I have the white, I need to go to the red, and I'm using my other finger to hold the loops kind of into place because sometimes they'll start to move around on you. So I'm going to do the yellow, and I'm going to just follow this all the way around until I get to the black. And then I'm going to sew it down the center of the bow. Almost there. Whoops. And then the red. And then the last one is the black. Alright, so now that I've done that, same thing that I did to that one, I'm just going to kind of straighten out my loops so that they're all in unison, like they're all even and they're not, one loop's not bigger than the next one. So once you're happy with how they're looped up, then go ahead and put your needle through the center, sewing them all together. Okay. And you only have to do it like 3 or 4 times, just enough to get that ribbon to stay in place. Okay, so this is the center of our bow. Once I tie it off, this one will be done. And then we can move on to the top part. Okay, so I feel that's good enough. I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and rethread my needle. Remember, you want to make sure that that knot is really big at the bottom so that you don't pull it through the ribbon. I did that when I was making this one. That's why it got all messed up on me for a minute. I didn't make it big enough and it pulled through the white. All right, so go ahead and grab your first one. Fold the ends together. Okay, I'm going to put it down on the table. And grab my second one, put it in through the middle. I'm going to grab my yellow. Look at that, you guys, we're almost done. Yellow goes there. And then the black one. Alright, so now I'm going to start with the first one that I put down on the table, which for me was the white. So I'm going to grab my white. Oops. I want to get twisted around that. And then the red. Almost done, and then I have the black, and then I have 3 left, 4 left, so I'm back to the white. Now the smaller one's a little bit trickier because you don't have as much room to put your finger in there to hold them all down, because the loops are definitely smaller than the 7-inch one, but I think they're super cute. They're really cute. The small ones, they're really cute. You could just put a hair clip on the back of this little guy and it'd be really cute too. All right, and then my last one. Okay, once you've gotten all your ribbon twisted, go ahead and arrange them to make sure your loops are all pretty uniform, to where they're like not bigger than the one next to it. Okay, so I went ahead and did that. So that's what mine looks like. So now that I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew the center of it. Uh-oh, I got a little bit of a knot in my thread, of course. Oops. So that happens. It can be fixed. Let me see. Try it. There we go. Try it that way. All right. I'll do a couple more. Now on the other two, the 7-inch and the 6-inch bow that we just did, I stopped on the top part of the bow. With this one, I'm actually going to tie it from the back side, because when we put it all together, this part of the bow is going to be glued down to the middle section, so you're not going to see all the knots. They're less likely to hang out if you do it this way from underneath the button. You don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to tie it up. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and just make sure all of my threads are cut pretty close to the bow so that they don't hang off. So this one's done. Super cute. Okay, I'm going to look at this one. See how this tail's like really long? This is the bottom of my bow where my clip's going to go, and I don't want the thread to poke out between the clip and the bow. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I am going to place them on top of each other, and I'm going to see how they look best together. And I like the way, I like the way that I put this one together, so I'm going to match this one to this one because I'm making a set. So I am going to take my red loop and I'm actually going to put it in between my white and my black. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of this. And it's about this size. I don't know. It's smaller than a dime. I wouldn't use a ton of glue because if you use a ton of glue, it's going to leak out through the sides and you don't want that. You just want enough to hold it. And then I'm going to pinch it with my finger for a good, I don't know, 6 to 7 seconds, because I want to make sure that that hair bow is bonded really good and tight because I don't want it to fall apart. All right, and then I'm going to take my last one and I'm going to put glue on the bottom of it. Okay. And then I like the way, I like the way that looks, so I'm going to glue that right there, and then I'm going to hold it for probably 6 to 7 seconds because I really want to make sure that it holds tight and that it does not fall apart. Okay. So far it's looking super cute. Okay, that should be good enough. So now we have all of the loops on the bow together. They look really adorable. I love it. Okay, next step is going to put the charm in the middle of the bow. Okay, so this is a button. If you can see, it has a loop on the back for you to sew it onto fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut that loop off as close to the back of the button as I possibly can because I want this button to lay flat on my hair bow. And if you leave that loop there, it's not going to be flat. It's going to be kind of bumpy, rocky, and then it has the potential to fall off. And that is something I don't want to happen. So I'm going to glue it right into the center, and you really want to hold that on there super tight for a few seconds because you want that button to stay. You don't want it to fall off. Okay, that should be good. All right. Okay, next we're going to grab any solid ribbon you want. You could have done black, or I could have done black, or I could have done white. I didn't choose white because it shows dirt more, and I don't know about you, but I know my daughter, when she used to wear hair bows, she'd get them dirty somehow. So I stay away from the white as much as I can. I couldn't find any black, so I found the red first, so I'm using red. So I'm going to heat seal the end of this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my alligator clip upside down and put a dab of glue on the bottom clip, which would be the top part if I turned it right side up. So I'm going to have it upside down, and I'm just going to put a dab of glue right there. Oops. And then I'm going to smash that in there so that it sticks. Now, you don't have to line your alligator clip, but I find it beneficial to do it because if you just put glue on this metal and then attach it to the fabric, it doesn't create as good of a bond. It would fall off over time. If you line it and then put the ribbon, the glue on this, and then stick it to the ribbon, it lasts forever. Okay, so I'm going to put a bead of glue on my clip. I'm going to pull it down like that. I'm going to mash it on there. Really good and tight. Notice I did not cut my ribbon yet. Okay, that's because I want to make sure that it fits on my clip. All right, once you've done that, you can clip the ribbon, and I leave about, I don't know, about 3/8 inch on there, maybe. Okay, I'm going to heat seal it, and then I'm just going to put a dab of glue, not too much because you don't want it oozing out all over your clip. You want just enough to where it stays. And what's nice is the alligator clip helps hold it into place. Okay, all right. Now the last step, make sure I get it right on there. Okay, the next step is you're going to put a bead of glue through the top of your hair clip. Don't put too much on because at this part, if you put too much on and then you go to stick it on the back of the bow, it's going to be spilling out all through the sides, and you don't want that. It'll give it an unfinished look. Now, I am really pressing this super tight. I'm actually smashing the bow on top, but don't worry, it'll all fluff back up. The ribbon is pretty forgiving. So I'm going to give it on there about, I don't know, a couple more seconds, and then I'll let go, and then I'll fluff up my bow. Okay, now there. Yep, okay, go ahead and fluff it back up, and then you're done. All right, I'm going to move the camera back up. So, got some glue on it, but there you go. All done. Super cute, fun, easy to make. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.